Hey, Governor, how's it, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Cool, man. So, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. So, tell us, where did you grow up? Um, what did you study? And how long were you raised where you grew up?
Okay, so I grew up in Malumulele. I'm actually from a village called Jim Jones, but I didn't really stay there. By the time I was born, my parents were moving to a township close by called Malumulele. So I grew up there with my siblings as they came. I'm the second born. So as they
Okay.
came, they found me living my life there in Malamlele. And I attended a primary school called Manganye. So I've went to public schools ever since I was born. So I went to public school, a primary school called Manganye. Then I went to EPP Menga. After that, after matric, I went to Rhodes University. The plan was to do marketing, but that didn't really happen because I had to take management and I hated management. So I ended up defaulting to something that was familiar, and it was economics and accounting. So I then went into economics and accounting, and that's what I did my undergrad on, and that's what I'm still busy with right now. Haven't really practiced as an economist yet, but obviously the industries that I've been exposed to or where I've been working, there's always been an element of economics in what I do. Um, and yeah, so it's 18 years of my life in Malamlele, and ever since I moved for university, I haven't really lived there. I do visit my parents when I get time, but I haven't really like lived in Malamlele for long. I visit for like 2 weeks or yeah, but the maximum that I've been able to visit ever since I went to varsity has been like 2 3 weeks. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And you spoke a little bit about Rhodes,
Yes,
and what you studied when you were in Rhodes.
yeah.
So have you always wanted to be an economist, or is it something you kind of stumbled upon?
I mean, as I said, it was something that I stumbled upon. It had never been a long term goal for me. So I think I've when I was growing up, I was not really the typical career type in a sense that I never had like one career which I was like, I really want to be this. I was never like committed to that extent.
Yeah.
And I mean, even when I decided marketing, it's because I was inspired by a guy called Sylvester Chauke, who is Tsonga, and he was doing amazing in the industry, you know. So it was someone who I could relate to, someone who spoke my language, who was doing amazing in Johannesburg and the world. So I was like, oh, let me just do marketing. I have the character, I am fun, you know. Let's do marketing. And then economics is something that I stumbled upon, and even when I was like getting to final year for my undergrad, I still didn't know what I was gonna do with economics. You know, I didn't really know what I was gonna practice in, and I only decided to move into corporate investment banking. In the beginning of my honors year, that's when I started to like explore other things. Yeah,
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about your time at Rhodes. I mean,
yes.
you spoke very little about your time at Malamle. So in Rhodes,
Yeah.
I understand you started a tuck shop.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about that. What inspired it and how did it come about?
So obviously, the tech shop didn't really happen until 2014, which is my penultimate year. So a year before I did my final year. So the tech shop didn't happen until then. I think also because before then I was very very busy. There were a lot of things that I was doing, but besides that is that I think there was that thing of trying to find yourself and find your feet and trying to balance things. So how the tech shop started, the idea was not necessarily to start a tech shop. It was just responding to an inefficiency that I saw on campus. As part of the Alan Gray Orbis Foundation, the foundation that funded my undergrad, we were actively involved in this entrepreneurial training program.
Yeah.
So basically, it just encourages you to keep on questioning things, you know. So when you see an inefficiency, you have to go beyond just complaining about the issue to actually say, if I don't really like how this chair feels when I'm sitting on it, then I need to start thinking of ways to make it better. Because sometimes some of the biggest ideas that I've ever developed come from you as an individual experiencing an inefficiency and experiencing a discomfort. So I study in the evening. I usually work overnight. So I was like, okay, during exams, I get hungry at night. I can't necessarily walk to town because it's late and it's dangerous. But also, if I walk to town, I'm stealing time from my studies. So if you take a break, you don't want to be taking an hour's break because it kills your momentum. You want to take at least 15 to 20 minutes. So I was like, okay, why not start a midnight tech shop and call it Midnight Delight? What we're going to be doing is that we will sell brownies, but we'll give complimentary coffee. So in a way, into our pricing, we didn't really factor, in a way, we did factor in the cost of coffee, but we presented it as you buy a brownie and then we give you free coffee. Because it didn't matter what kind of coffee you wanted. We had different flavors that we could give. So that's how the tech shop started, and it really, really did well. To a point where even after I left Rhodes in 2015, I still had people sending me messages on the Facebook page, which I still haven't closed today. It's still active. I don't know why I'm not closing it, but I'm quite attached to it. So I'm still getting, I still got messages after I left Rhodes. People asking me, are you still open? Are you open tonight? Oh, are you operating tonight? I was like, I've long left the university. I'm now in Wits. So yeah, when you respond to an inefficiency, you actually realize that other people are also experiencing the same discomfort. And that's why it was easy to operate the business. That's why it was easy to even make profit from it, because the fundamentals or the foundation of the business was never about really making the profit, but it was just responding to a need. Yeah.
Awesome. And it sounds fantastic that you're able to meet the need for fellow students.
Yeah.
Studying at night is always, that midnight stack is always important. It gets you going.
It does.
So I want to pick up on the conversation from when you moved to Wits. I mean, you seem to be traveling a lot from Rhodes.
I move a lot.
Is it by design or is it how did you decide?
It has always been part of the plan. So going to Wits was always part of the plan. So another story about me is that I am a person who is very self-aware, but there was a time in my life where I always played within bounds. I no longer do that anymore, but I used to play within bounds. And by this, I mean, I was not, as I told you, I wasn't really a career person in high school. So I didn't have amazing marks. Like I didn't have like 7 distinctions. My brother actually, he put so much pressure on me because he was ahead of me and he got 7 distinctions with a 98% on in mathematics, and he was angry that he didn't get the 2% to get 100%. And I had a very, very bad mark for maths. And I don't think I was stupid, but I think at that time I was just not that person. I was busy singing. I was busy doing a lot of artistic stuff that had nothing to do with academics. So I didn't really do well to get into Wits or UCT. My brother went to UCT, so I didn't get there. But at that point, for me, it was just like applying to whatever university. I didn't even do enough to get into a mainstream course at any of the top university, and Rhodes is one of them. So when I got to Rhodes, Rhodes was the only university that I applied to for some odd reason. I don't know why, but it was only the university that gave me placement. But I was placed under extended studies program. So I didn't do my degree in 4 years. I did it in 3 years. And people keep on saying that this guy is smart. I don't know. I don't know if that is true, but like I think for where I was when I was still a teenager, it didn't really propel me to get into to mainstream. So that was always part of the plan, because if it was according to me, if I had done well, I could have went to vet. But I think the other reason of me not applying to vet or UCT at that time, besides the fact that I didn't do very well to get into those institutions, was that I was not ready for Johannesburg. I had never lived there, and I always had, it's a big city. I had of crime, I had of all these things. I was not ready to be in Joburg at that age, but also because of the influences, the kind of characters that come out of people who go to Joburg without being matured and prepared. So it's like, let me go very far away, a place that is almost deserted, that doesn't have things, you know. I like things, so I'm gonna go to a place that doesn't have things. Rhodes is one of those places, a one street town with really, really nothing to do. Like, people party, and I'm not really interested in that scene. So Rhodes was very good in grooming me and maturing me, because I was far away from family. I was far away from familiarity. Like, there were no Tsonga people around, hardly any Tsonga people around. The food was different. But because Vets was always in the back of my mind, I was like, when I finish here, I'm not doing my honors at Rhodes. I'm going to move to Vets. So I applied to Vets and I applied to UCT when I was applying for my honors. UCT gave me an offer about 2 months before Vets even responded. Actually, Vets, I feel like Vets didn't even want to take me. I had to go and knock at their doors. I'm like, I did well. So my undergrad, I really, really performed well. I performed well. And that's why I'm like, it's not because I was stupid that I didn't do well in high school. It was just that I was not ready, you know? Vets didn't take me. Like, literally, I got my acceptance letter a week before I started with class, just because I went there. Like, people were telling me that Vets does that for people who come from outside for postgrad degrees. So go knock, like, literally go ask them. Like, I have all the qualifications. I meet all whatever you need from me. And I didn't just pass, I passed well. So why are you not taking me? I even had funding. So I had a scholarship to even back me up, to say, I even have funding. I'm not coming here to become a burden to you. Like, I'm bringing you money. Like, why are you not taking me? So I didn't accept the UCT offer just because I really wanted to be Joburg. I really wanted to be in Joburg for other projects that I wanted to do, like the music and all of those things. Yeah.
Interesting. So before we jump into what happened after Feds, I want to pick up this music thing. It's coming for the second time.
Yes.
Tell me a little about it. Is it a hobby? How does music feature in your life?
Yeah.
Now.
I don't really think it's a hobby, because I think a hobby is something that a person enjoys to do, but they do it when they have time out of whatever they are doing. So for me, music, it's a very big part of me. It's not something that I chose. Of course, like, you don't choose the fact that you can sing, but there are people who can sing but don't have the same passion as I do about it, you know? So I think it's a God-given passion that I have within myself. And it's something that I have been pushing since I was 16, because that's when I started a group and we started recording. We've recorded top chatting songs. We are on television. We are on online platforms. So it's really, really, really moving. And also because it's something that is very much connected to my faith and what I believe, because I do gospel music. It's like at the core of who I am. It's not even something that I'm like, okay, I do when I have time or whatever the case is. Even now that I'm here, I'm still like having meetings and coordinating stuff back in South Africa, just trying to get the ship moving, you know? So music is really, really a big part of me. So moving to Joburg was quite ideal, because at that time I was more matured, and Joburg is like the place where dreams happen, they say. But also, it's also because of the resourcefulness of the city. So moving to Joburg, I was able to coordinate our team, and we recorded our first album, and it really, really, really did well. So yeah, it was more than academics. My move to Vets was more than academics, because I could have went to UCT if I was looking for like the top university or whatever. But I was really looking for a good institution where I can push my academics, but at the same time be able to push my passion projects.
Hey, Wits is a top university. What's wrong
Well,
with
it
you?
is. It is. I mean, we are even doing this vaccination of the COVID and all of that. UCT students are jealous. We are a top university. We are. I'm not disputing that.
There's a bunch of Wits trying to defend the institution. All right, and then so you then finished with Wits,
Yeah.
and what happened?
And so after I finished at Wits, so it was crazy how this happened because I got a call one of these days, and like the year I did my honors, it was the Christmas full year. So like there were a lot of disruptions towards the end of the year, which was a blessing in disguise for me because I was not really like progressing with my research project. So it was good because they postponed the dates and all of that. But I got a call from Nedbank, and they were like, "Hi, we we just want you to submit your CV. We didn't receive your CV on your application." I'm like, "My application?" Because I don't remember applying at Nedbank, and I think a lot of people don't know this, but I don't remember putting an application. But also, I understand because of the times I might have like sent something or whatever the case is. So I got a call from Nedbank. They were like, please send your CV because we've received your application and all of that. So I'm like, hi, man. One, I know that you guys don't like people who are recruiting and you work in leadership and development and talent. You understand that you guys don't have time to play. If you didn't attach everything, like you go on the side. So, and that's why I believe that I was really supposed to go and work there because the way it happened for me, it was like, okay, there was no way that this could have just been the works of man or whatever. So I got a call, like, submit your CV. I was like, oh, okay. So I submitted my CV. At the time, and then we did all the application process, and then I progressed to like the next stage, and then I finally got to the summit, which is like the final, the final round, and that was quite exciting. Because the thing about it is that for me, I had never interviewed for any job or any internship prior. I had never done any interview for any of those things. And before when I got to the Nedbank Summit, I was coming from another interview in Cape Town for asset management. And then got to the summit and it was all great. And then weeks later, I finally got an offer. And the offer was, the offer was so good. And I mean, I got the Cape Town offer and it didn't come close. So the offer was very good. And also because I had commissioned Maha that I want to really try this like corporate investment banking thing. Let's try and do it. And the fact that it worked out for me was really a blessing because it's quite a tough space to get into. Like a lot of people compete to get into that space. So for me, being able to like make it and get in was quite a blessing. So yeah, I started at Nedbank 2017, and that's where I worked until I left last year.
Okay, fantastic. And then you left Nedbank, but you had something still in your heart, from what I understand, to pursue your masters and see how things are going.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that and where you're doing your masters.
Yeah. So when I went into Nedbank, I'm a planner. So as I told you, that was part of the picture. I can even send you a copy of my 5-year goals. So yes. I had that, but that was part of my Alan Gray submission because we had to like every year review what we've done, what we've achieved, and then like plan for the next few years. I'm not really someone who writes down, but I have it down because I had to submit to Alan Gray. So my plans are always in my head. So it was always part of the plan that I wanted to do my master's 2 years after working. So obviously when I interviewed, I didn't reveal the fact that I'm just here for 2 years and I'm gone, because you can't do that. But I think there were really great moments that that helped me with a lot of things right now, having started work in such an environment, in such a space, because you really, really, really get exposure. Because we're not talking retail here, we're talking multi-billion companies, and being exposed to that and some of the conversations that happen at that level was quite interesting. But the plan for me was that I will go into banking, I will learn as much as I know about how banks operate, and then I will move on to furthering my studies. But how banking ties into what I am doing now was that I wanted to learn about these institutions that are being regulated, because I wanted to study regulation in a way, or monetary policy. And monetary policy is like the policy that basically governs uh, um, the move of money, interest rates, basically bank business. It really governs bank business. So I wanted to understand, okay, if the Reserve Bank makes a decision to move interest rate, how does that trickles down to banks? And being able to be in the bank and be able to see that with clients, with the kind of interest rates that we're charging, that was quite interesting. So now I've moved from banking into doing my master's in monetary and financial policy, and the focus is basically on monetary policy, regulation, financial stuff, but at the macro level, not at the micro level. So that's what I'm doing now.
Okay. And where are you doing it? Because I mean, you keep referring to your creating things in South Africa.
Yes, I am. I am doing it at the University of Nottingham, a top 100 university, by the way. yeah. Vet tries. I think vet is close enough, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's too high now.
I don't think that's an important detail. But yeah, I'm doing it at the University of Nottingham. It has quite a good economics department, and it's quite a privilege to be exposed to some of like the top academics. I mean, my supervisor consults with the European Central Bank. He's quite big there, and being able to be exposed to such individuals, it's a big blessing. So I'm doing my master's there. I mean, I'm done now with coursework. I'm busy with my dissertation, which is the last and final leg of the master's, and yeah, in September I should be done.
Awesome. So I'm sitting in my room listening to you talk about all these awesome things, and I'm wondering, okay, how do you get funding for this? Like, are you paying for yourself? You spoke about the big bucks that you made in the bank.
Yes.
Where's the money?
Oh, that was good. The big bucks from the bank were good. I'm now living on a stipend. Can you imagine the downgrade? Yeah, I have. So all my life, okay, not all my life, but like the later part of my life, which is varsity, I've been funded by scholarships and fellowships. Firstly, I mentioned the Alan Gray Foundation, which I'm really grateful for, because it really, so what I always encourage people to do is that try to go for scholarships instead of bursaries, because bursaries give you money and they're expecting you to either pay them back by working for them or whatever the case is. But scholarship really invests in you. They invest in developing you. They invest in making sure that you do not just become someone who has a degree, but someone who is able to stand and engage on matters, someone who is concerned about society. So I have been funded by scholarships. Alan Gray with my undergrad, and then my honors, it was Mandela Rhodes. I'm a serious scholarshipper.
You got a Korean scholarships.
And then now I'm funded by the Chevening Scholarship, which is a scholarship from the UK by the UK government. Very competitive, but yeah, I mean, once you're at this side, you actually realize that if you take a chance on yourself, it's really possible to achieve these things, because you have 50,000 people applying. We had about 56,000 in our year, and they only took 1,700 globally. So that is less than 1% of the total pool of applicants. but I just feel like you have nothing to lose. You just need to like put yourself out there, apply, try ask for help if you really need help. But yeah, I'm being funded by the Chevening Scholarship, and because of that, I don't have to worry about the lights. I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi. I don't have to worry about how I travel back home. Even now during COVID, like the stipend is still coming. So I'm not worried about a lot of things because I have the support. And besides that, they even support you, your wellness. They are even reaching out now, trying to find out how are you coping, how can they assist you further. And that was the same kind of trait that I got with all the scholarships. And with Alan Gray, that is a long-term relationship because now I'm an Alan Gray fellow. Alan Gray is still reaching out to ask, how can we help you? How can we assist you? How are you doing? Which is, yeah, a big blessing.
Sure, that's fantastic. And I mean, you spoke a little bit about, well, a lot about you being a planner.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining, I mean, you're living in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And so in preparation for that, so what did you do to acclimatize yourself to the environment, to know what the weather is like, the culture, the people? How did you get yourself around that?
Yeah. Okay. So in 2018, I decided that I was going to apply for summer school at the London School of Economics. Why the London School of Economics? Because that's why I wanted to go initially. That plan changed just because I just wanted to specialize, and LSE couldn't offer me a specialization, so I just abandoned that dream. So I went to the London School of Economics for summer school. I had to take my bonus, which was my first bonus, by the way. I had to clean my credit card. I had to take a loan. So I was very committed. I remember I even wrote a loan story, and then NetBank used it as an advertisement. It's a nice advertisement. I was appearing on desktops at the office. I was quite a celebrity. So yeah, so I told the story about how I took that loan to advance my knowledge and stuff. So I went to summer school, and summer school really helped me in terms of understanding the UK education system, how they work, how they assess, because I had to write exams as well. But also I also got a feel of how the weather is like, how people dress, the prices for food, for clothes, because I explored all these things, transportation, how people are, how do you relate to them, how do you say certain things, like how do you express yourself that people understand you. So I really wanted to do that so that when I finally moved, and at that time I didn't have a scholarship, I didn't have an acceptance letter, but I believed and I was determined that I'm going to apply and I'm going to get it. So I made the investment to come over to kind of like acclimatize myself and try to learn. And that helped me that when I finally arrived here, I was not shocked about a lot of things. And that's why when people ask me about some of like, what were your highlights and your excitements, I don't really have like moments of like, oh yeah, this was exciting. Because for me, it's like, I just changed where I live, but there isn't much that is shocking to me. Of course, I knew that when I finally moved here, I would have to bring some of my own spices and my own seasoning, because I had tasted the food, I experimented, and I had an experience of how the food is like. But yeah, I had made that decision to come a year before I moved my life this side.
Awesome. And would you say it was a good decision in terms of, I mean, there's so many things in the world, or so many opportunities in the world where you could have done specialization. And given your determination, do you think UK was the best place to do it, and why UK specifically?
Yeah, so I've always been an anti-American person. Like I'm just like, I'm just like, America thinks like they make the world, they are not gonna make me. It's quite funny that I'm in the country of the colonists, but for me it was like it was always like, no, America, I'm not gonna make America have a claim on the person that I'll become in the future, or whatever. But I mean, like that is like it's not even a primary reason. It's just like a playful reason. I think I've just always loved. There's just something about Britain and the United Kingdom and Europe in general, because also being here, I have access to all these nice different places like your Italy, your Amsterdam, and I just love the feel, how this place looks, their architecture, their accents, which is actually funny when you're here. Yeah, there's just something about Britain, the weather, the fashion. Which I really love. The fashion, when you think about London fashion, it's something that really speaks to me. So I really love that aesthetic. I mean, also being at Nedbank, I would like be on my coat and people will keep on saying, yeah, you look like you are a Londoner, you look ready. And I always used to love that, you know? So I think that's one of the reasons that I chose here, but also availability of funding. There were a lot of funding opportunities that I was exposed to, because what I did not tell you is that in 2016, when I was applying for a job, I applied for a scholarship. I applied for the Rhodes Scholarship. And that was the biggest day that I ever did in terms of like dreams. Because I mean, I was like, okay, Rhodes Scholarship, it's even more exclusive than the Chevening one because of the pool. I think they take about 200 or 100 and something. So it's even more. It's just that it's only looking at it looks at a smaller number of countries than Chevening does. But I applied for that and I made it to interviews, but I messed it up. I don't know, like someone like asked me an economics question, which as soon as I finished answering, I realized that I'm saying the wrong things, but I couldn't, redeem myself at that point. So I knew when I left the interview that I did not make it. But for me, having been able to make it to the interviews for a scholarship that was going to take me to Oxford, a scholarship that is so exclusive, was like reaffirmation of saying that it means that you can do it. Because getting to an interview is big, for you to have like a profile that says that, oh, we want to talk to you. It was a big thing. So I've always wanted to come to the United Kingdom. And it has a lot, as much as we think that America has a lot of universities that are great and all of that, Europe has a lot of great institutions. So you can select from a whole lot coming here. So that was another reason that I wanted to come this side.
Awesome. And I mean, maybe just I was thinking when you're talking about regulation and policies and left bank, and does it have anything to do with your name?
I get that question quite a lot, and I always tell people that, because I'm studying economics, some people actually think that governor is not my name. They think it's something I give myself, something I aspire for. I'm like, I don't necessarily aspire to be the governor of any bank. But if it happens, it happens. It's almost like when I look at my life and like what I've done, it's almost like, I think the name has kind of like mapped my journey in a way, but not consciously so. Like it was not like in my mind that, you know what, I'm governor. I need to become the governor. It's not, like someone, when I posted something about names on Facebook, and someone was like, but I don't think that is true, because how many doctors do you know who are medical I was like, fair. They're like, how many beauties are beautiful? I'm like, you're getting personal now.
Not getting personal.
But yeah, it was never my intention. Even when I asked my dad, I actually did an interview with my dad before I came. I thought I was going to share it on YouTube for people to see, but I haven't really gotten time to edit. I was just asking him, why did he give me the name governor? Like, what was it about? And for him, it was nothing close to me becoming governor of anything. It was just because he's a prayerful man. He just prayed, and the kind of like direction that he was getting was that, okay, your name is going to be Nkateko, which means blessing, and then your second name will be governor. You will govern and whatever. And I've really seen myself, and not in positions, but in like situations, I've seen myself really governing in my life, and not taking this as a title, but like I've really been governing. I feel like I have gotten into places where qualifications couldn't necessarily take me there. You know, like I have been able to defy a lot of not regulations but requirements. You know, when they say, "Oh, we want this," and I'll be like, "Okay, I'll still apply." I mean, with Alan Gray as well. If you can see the caliber of individuals who were at my selection camp when I left there, I was like, "I'm Shana. It's not happening for you." It's not happening for you.
In the mold.
Yeah, I was like, it's not happening for you. It was amazing individuals, kids who went to like all these fancy schools, and you can imagine the kind of pressure and the kind of feeling that of inferior, of being inferior, the kind of feeling of being inferior that I had being there, with all these individuals who achieved like 100% in maths and all of that, and I didn't have that. So yeah, governor has never been, it has never been about a position, but I've seen it and how it translates its meaning in my life, and yeah.
Fantastic. I think, Governor, it's been a lovely conversation, and I know we could talk for a very long time.
Yes.
For me, what I want you to leave behind is think of those kids that are in Malumulele potentially looking at this conversation,
Yeah.
and feeling doubt because
Yeah.
there's a pandemic. I'm not sure if I'm going to write my matric or
Yeah.
where am I going to do it. What would you say to them as word of encouragement? And to say, keep going, keep pushing. I mean, one of the things you've been saying quite a lot is around it. You've challenged yourself to go to places where you would have never imagined. And you still came strong. It may have not been as perfect as you expected. Sometimes it was better, but sometimes it just fit the bill and you made it work.
Yeah. I think the biggest battle happens in the mind. And once you're able to conquer that, you'll conquer everything. A lot of things. I was having a conversation with Dumi and Lungani, and Lungani used to say that when we started the grad program, I used to be like, yeah, yes, Chela. Like I would look at, because I'm very confident. I'm very self-assured, but not in a way of trying to make others feel less than I am. But it's about me. It's not about you. It's about how I feel about myself. And that has really, really helped me. And I feel like how I got there is because I've been able to conquer some of the battles and some of the conversations that happen in my mind. Because what you realize is that if you worry about something that you cannot control, you cannot change it. But if you don't worry, it gives you a peace of mind and a sense of rest. Because at the end of the day, you're not in control of the outcome. But what I can say that is definite. I think this is my number one recommendation. Even if I was to write a book, it will be on this thing: take a chance on yourself, again and again and again. Like be that person who's like, I am gonna keep on trying. And I know it's difficult. And I've been in a place when I got a rejection from a bursary in my first year. The following day, I got confirmation for Alan Gray. And the day that day when I got that rejection, in my mind I was like, if I didn't make this bursary, Alan Gray won't come through, because that was more hectic in terms of the selection process. But imagine if I only applied for the bursary, I would have missed out on an opportunity that changed my life forever. You know, and I think it's really, really about that. The principle is just that. Our counterparts who are able to go and do amazing things, let me tell you, they struggle as well with imposter syndrome. They also struggle when they're in their rooms. They're like, yo, like I can't do it. Like I'm not good. I'm not good enough. They also struggle. But at the end of that conversation of I'm not good enough, they're like, okay, but I am going to try. And I think that is what we need to do more, especially as Black people, because I feel like most of us, because of where we come from, we don't have that trying spirit. We try once. And also, the things that you try is very important. because you cannot just be trying. Try those things that scare you, because some things, it's just a waste of your energy. And I'm not saying that there are lesser opportunities, but I'm just saying that we are usually very safe also in our trying.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, dare to do things that scare you. This scholarship, if I can show you the clip when I got my acceptance email, I cried because I was in disbelief that I made it. But I wouldn't have been able to have that moment of being in disbelief that me make it into a global scholarship if I did not send that application. My part was sitting down, sending an application, preparing everything that I needed to prepare, and showing up for the interview. But I was not in control of the outcome. I was not in control of the fact that those people are going to select me. But what I was in control of is the fact that I was able to sit on my laptop, draft the motivation, and send it. And that's what you need to do. Send it out anyway. Whether you get 20 rejections, 100, and all of that, send that application anyway. All the internships that I applied for when I was still in varsity, because people were telling me that in order to get into like big jobs like banking, you would need to have an internship, like a proof that you have done some work while you're still in varsity. Look, I got into corporate investment banking without history of any internship prior. So, like, when you start looking at the pattern of how things go, you actually realize that you cannot use someone's blueprint of how they've succeeded and say, okay, that's how I'm also going to succeed. Look, you need to take a chance on yourself, and the rest is history. And that's why I'm here in the UK free of charge, because I took a chance on myself.
Beautiful message, Governor. I think it's really encouraging. I must say, there's a lot that has evolved since the time I saw you.
Oh man,
one thing that has stayed the same is the confidence, and I mean, keep that. It's a beautiful thing to see in young people that are coming in and saying, "I'm going to challenge the status quo, and I'm going to come and make an impact." Because I guess it helps other people as well. But also, I like the idea of you saying, take a chance on yourself, which is what you've been doing throughout your life. So that is absolutely beautiful. And thank you very much for that.
And also, when you take a chance on yourself, people like Itubele will take a chance on you because they will see your application, and then, you know, like it's just so important. And another thing that I want to say, how music ties into my life, is that music has given me confidence, because that is something that I'm confident about. And with that, music makes you want, you, in order to perform, you have to stand on stage, right? You have to face. And there was a lot of times where my mom would always push me, like, go give an item, even the days that I didn't want. But standing in front of a church full of individuals, like being scared of them judging my singing or whatever, and keep on like doing it and doing it again and again, it did build my confidence. And I think that's how it plays into the rest of my life. So you can see that music is not just another thing. Like, it also helped me become the person that I am, because I had to face my fears of being in front of people from a very tender age. So now I'm not scared. Whether I stand in front of people at night, during the day, it's the same thing, you know? So, yeah.
Governor, it will be an injustice if we leave this conversation without you singing
no, I refuse. You are becoming Lungani now, and you're cornering me because he likes to do that. No.
This is you taking a chance on yourself.
No, you know, with my singing, I've taken so many chances. I don't need any further confirmation.
You're doing it for us. You're doing it for us. Think of all South Africans that are in lockdown.
You can't put me in the spot like this.
Spotlight like that. I understand. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll find
but people can go search, like, my YouTube page, The Governor. That's my YouTube page, and it'll give you a link to everything else, a lot of things that I do, including Worship Saints, the group that I lead. So
Worship Saints and The Governor will look out for that. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
No, I really appreciate it.
Really encouraging. Thank you very much.
No, I appreciate this, and thank you for always being there and cheering us. And even after you've moved, you haven't forgotten about us.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
So much.
Yehova ukase, ukase, Yehova ukase, Yehova ukase, ukase, Yehova ukase, Yehova. Chabelela wena Yesu ukase emashangwini wangenelela wena ukase Yehova watsembeka kimasiku wena ukase yeah, yeah. Oh, wena ululambile angakona wahorisa wapamela ushwemo ululamile yeho angakona umwan lafana kana wena watsembeka yeho himasiku hi wao wena waranzeka yena wasaisa yena wapamela yena wapamela itinzwalo utumbelo wachabelela nasona watumela yena washikota Yehova tinzalo washikota wahilela kinyimpi washikota Yesu washikota yena wahorisa yena wahorisa yena wahorisa imatimba wahlayisa masiku hinkwawo minkarhi hinkwayo nkarhi hinkwayo wahlayisa wanziranza 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 swifamba kahle swifamba ku biha wanzi